And the last problem we will do from section 1.3, we are given the following setup. We know that the z1 is in the first quadrant, and z2 looks like 1/2 plus root 3 over 2i. We want to try to reason what possible quadrants z1, z2 could be located. So let's just take a moment and unravel this first part. The first part is telling us that the argument of z1, well, the principal argument even, is between, I guess it could be 0, but it's between 0 and pi halves. We know that, I guess also we can compute the argument of this guy. The principal argument for this, let's use black colored font. If you think about computing arctangent, in this case, what you're going to find is you get pi thirds. So, I'm going to stop writing principal argument, even though it is still true in this case. This guy, let's actually give me some space on either side, is equal to the sum of these and we know that the arguments of z1 is at most pi halves. Let's see, pi halves plus pi thirds is, mental math, I think it's 5 pi 6. And it's at least 0. So on this side, we can do a 0 plus pi thirds. So what these, if we read left to right, what we're learning here is that pi thirds is less than or equal to the argument of the sum and is less than or equal to 5 pi 6. And this is actually the principal argument, but I'll leave it like this. So, what is our answer? Well, pi thirds is in the first quadrant, but 5 pi 6 is in the second. So it could be in quadrants 1 or 2. That's our answer. Now let's do a similar analysis for part B. Again, we know that the argument, well, I'm not going to write principal argument. The argument of z1, z2, if we think about this, the argument of this z2 is equal to 5 pi 6. So that's going to be equal to, of course, I'm going to use the principal argument for z1 and for z2. And that, of course, is less than or equal to pi halves, because argument for our z1 is at most pi halves, plus the value of this is 5 pi 6. Pi halves plus 5 pi 6, I believe, is 4 pi thirds. Right, because pi halves is 3 pi 6, 3 plus 5 is 8, and 8 over 6 reduces to 4 thirds. And then similarly on this side, we get 0 plus 5 pi 6. So if we read left to right, we find that z1, z2 has argument. Again, this is not the principal argument now because we're exceeding pi. But we can take as one of the values for the argument something between 5 pi 6 and 4 pi thirds. So this tells us that it could be in quadrants 2 or 3, depending on what the argument of z1 actually is. Again, we don't know exactly, but we can do this argument arithmetic to narrow it down to 2 quadrants.